Republican Alabama Senator Katie Britt. Senator, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Linsey. I appreciate it.
Let's start with Iran's missile attack into Israel. It's been reported the U.S. helped take down Iranian missiles, and there's no direct damage reported in Tel Aviv at this time. President Biden today said that the U.S. is fully supportive of Israel. As we wait to learn more, what do you think of the response right now from the U.S. government to this latest attack today?
Look, we have to stand firmly with Israel. We have to do that not only with our words, but with our actions. I just saw the clip that you played with Vice President Harris saying that she unequivocally stands with Israel. Her actions have been very different. When Netanyahu was here to speak in front of a joint session of Congress just a few weeks ago in the midst of the turmoil in the Middle East, she chose to be at another event, an event that she could have been at that lasted 3 to 5 days. She could have picked another time slot, but she didn't. She went to that, and she actually turned her back on Netanyahu. When we're looking at what's happening in the Middle East, look, this administration has to take responsibility. We saw the picture that you just posted of Kamala Harris in the Situation Room there with Joe Biden, and the truth is they have chosen to move off of a maximum pressure strategy that President Trump had, one that was very successful. You even had the New York Times, reporting during President Trump's tenure that Hezbollah and Hamas were almost bankrupt because he used maximum pressure. He used every tool in his toolbox. He used sanctions to dry them up financially. And then what happens? Biden and Harris come in. They ease off of those sanctions. They allow them to start producing oil. And we know what happens when they have more money. They fund nuclear proliferation and they fund terrorism. So when we take a look at what is happening here, this administration must stand up and certainly do so better than they have done over the last 2.5 years, because that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, Linsey, unfortunately sent shockwaves across the world, shockwaves that we are dealing with right now today. And I am praying for the people of Israel and the innocent people of the region. We must stand firmly with them, and that's what I plan to do in the United States Senate. And I know that that's what President Trump and J.D. Vance will do every day that they're in office.
Former President Trump has said that if he's elected, he would solve the crisis in the Middle East and bring about, quote, peace in the world. But he hasn't said how he would do that. Do you think that he owes the voters a concrete explanation of what he'd do exactly?
Look, they have a concrete explanation. It's his actions prior to. When he was in office, we think about this. We got in no new wars under President Trump's administration. You see when Putin invaded Ukraine, he invaded under Obama, Biden, and Biden-Harris. When you look at what happened with President Trump with regards to the Abraham Accords, there was actually sustainable peace in the Middle East. That's something we should be building off of. People said when he moved the embassy to Jerusalem, obviously firmly standing with Israel, that couldn't be done. He did it, and there is opportunity to continue to grow that. So he'll go right back to the playbook he had before. He will go put those sanctions back on Iran. He will dry them up financially, and as a result, there will be peace, more peace across the country and across the globe. Look, he actually understands peace through strength, and the plan that he has is the action he took before. He's done it before. He will do it again. People are sick of the chaos of the last 3.5 years over Biden and Harris, and they're ready for a more stable global economy, and they're ready for certainly for safety and security, not just abroad, but here at home. People are yearning for that, Linsey. You're going to see that tonight on the stage. You're going to see a very stark contrast between the Harris and Walz campaign and what Trump and Vance are offering, and I'm excited for the American people to actually get to see these policy differences debated tonight, and I know JD will do an excellent job.
As you know, former President Trump is speaking right now, and just a few moments ago he said that if he were president again, he would blow Iran to smithereens. Just want to get your reaction to that.
Look, I think there is a reason, as I just said, that we actually had peace across the globe when President Trump was in office. He understands what it takes from peace through strength. If you look at what Iran has done, Iran has funded all of these terrorist organizations, Linsey. We know the more money they have, the more terrorism they fund. They fund Hamas in Gaza. They fund the Houthis in Yemen, who obviously are using our naval fleet right now for target practice. And then you look at Hezbollah in Lebanon. Look, these people are thriving thriving because we have allowed Iran to do this. And so President Trump will go back to a maximum pressure strategy. He'll use every tool in his toolbox. There were no new wars started under President Trump. That's exactly the kind of leadership that we want to see here in the United States, one of strength. Our allies do not respect us in the way that they used to, and our enemies do not fear us. We are seeing that time and time again, not just with what's happening in the Middle East and not just what's happening with Putin's aggression into Ukraine, but also what's happening with China. I mean, whether it's economically or whether it's militarily, they are building up. And they have said it's not an if, but a when they take Taiwan. I believe that President Trump garners the respect of leaders across the world, and I will believe that we will be safer and more secure when he and J.D. Vance are back in office.
Senator Katie Britt, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate that you joined us tonight.
Thank you.